questions we all had as kids, like why is the sky blue? Or how do birds actually fly? We're all born with this incredible curiosity. So in this explainer, we're going to reignite that spark and take a little journey into the wonderful world of science. I mean, it's a question that connects all of us, right? Through generations. That feeling of just wonder when you look up at that huge, vast universe. Well, that's it. That's the starting point for one of humanity's greatest adventures. So, let's talk about the adventure of science. Because, we often think of science as this thing we had to do in school, a list of facts to memorize for a test. But the thing is, it is so much more than that. It's an active, ongoing adventure. It's really a powerful way of looking at the world. See, science isn't just a noun, it's a verb. It's about doing. It's about thinking critically, observing really carefully, and actively testing out our ideas. It's basically our toolkit for understanding everything, from a tiny grain of sand all the way up to the biggest mysteries of the cosmos. I love this quote. It just perfectly captures that spirit of discovery, doesn't it? I mean, imagine a jigsaw puzzle, but there's no box, no picture to look at, and an infinite number of pieces. That's science for you. And every single new discovery is just another piece falling right into place. But here's the cool part. Finding a piece doesn't end the game at all. It does the complete opposite. Each answer seems to reveal like a dozen new, even more fascinating questions. It's this never-ending journey, and honestly, that's what makes it so darn exciting. So where does this grand adventure even happen? Do you need some fancy lab with bubbling beakers and stuff? Absolutely not. The laboratory for science, it's literally everywhere. It's happening in a vast forest. I mean, you can be a scientist right here, just wondering how a tiny little seed can transform into a massive tree. Or in the depths of the ocean. I mean, talk about a world of bizarre creatures and phenomena that we are only just beginning to understand. And it's happening in a distant galaxy. You can be a scientist just by looking up at the night sky, charting the dance of galaxies millions and millions of light years away. And it's even in what's cooking in your kitchen. Yep, science comes right back home. The chemical reactions that make bread rise, the physics of boiling water, it's all happening right there in front of us every single day. All right, so if science is everywhere, how do we, actually do it? How do we get from a simple question to a real answer? Well, there's this surprisingly simple process that we all use, whether we even realize it or not. Okay, let's look at a problem. Imagine this. You're writing something important and your pen suddenly stops working. What do? You don't just stare at it, right? No, you immediately start thinking, okay, why did this stop working? And what you do next, well, that's the scientific method in action. First, you observe and question. My pen stopped working. Then you guess a possible answer. Maybe it's out of ink. Then you test your guess. You take the pen apart, you analyze the results. Yep, the refill is totally empty. And finally, you see if your question is answered. It is. It's a simple but super powerful process for just figuring stuff out. And believe it or not, that exact same logic, just scaled up, is what led us to monumental discoveries, from gravity to vaccines. Which brings us to our next point. And this right here, this is maybe the most important takeaway of all. If you've ever figured out why your pen stopped working, you've already got what it takes. Seriously, science isn't some exclusive thing reserved for people in white lab coats. It's a mindset. Anyone who's curious and just follows a logical path to find answers is practicing science. Welcome to the club. You're already a member. Think about it. The cook wondering why their doll spilled over. The mechanic trying to find why a tire's flat. The electrician figuring out why a bulb isn't working. Each one is observing, guessing, and testing. In that moment, they are all scientists. So this brings us to the never-ending quest, because this whole story, it really has no ending. Being a scientist isn't some destination you arrive at. It's the journey itself. It's this continuous quest that's completely fueled by curiosity. And you want to know the best part? No matter how much we learn, there are always more mysteries waiting. That puzzle we talked about, it's infinite, with countless pieces just sitting there, waiting for a curious mind to come along and find them. There's a great saying for this. To be a wise person, you must be a wise person. And that's so true, right? Wisdom isn't about having all the answers. It's about constantly asking why. It's about keeping that little spark of curiosity alive and never, ever stopping that wonderful process of asking questions.
So, I'll leave you with this final thought. Seriously, look around you, right now. Find something that makes you wonder. The greatest adventure you'll ever go on begins with just a single, simple question. So, what's yours?